Hello and welcome to the Mirror Gaming Walkthrough. The weekly gaming news show is the first show of 2024. Happy New Year to everyone. We've got some great topics for you today in this week's show. We'll be talking Game of the Year 2023 because we didn't have a chance to talk about that in last year's show. Weird to say. We'll also be talking about some of the... but before we do that, let's watch the trailer. Are you prepared to go public with your KD online or
no?
Everyone thinks he or she is the best football expert on the planet.
You see it in the back page of the Mirror, deal agreed.
I think the most important thing is just to have fun.
What? 310?
No, what button is it?
Well, hello.
We're ready to come for the W, yeah?
Oh, 12.
Ooh, here we go. If you can master second man press, you will defend 10 times better.
Today I'm going to be reviewing the PSVR 2 headset.
Hello and welcome to the Mirror Gaming Walkthrough. Yes, thank you, Scott. Scott is in the chat and on the show.
I'll tell you what my favourite part of that entire video was, right? See when the guy goes, "We're going to come for the W, yeah?" You just hear you kind of go, "Yeah."
I know I say this every week, but we do need to update that at some point because we've got plenty of really cool stuff that we've done since then. So I'm sure we'll be getting a brand new one for the new year at some point. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Sorry, what
you hear that, Matt and Will? That's some work for you.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, the first show of the new year, and joining me on the first show is Scott McRae, also in the chat. Scott, how you doing? You all right?
Yes, I'm getting over the lurgy that everyone had over the new year, but
of course,
getting there, ready for my first 12 of the year, so
nice. And you're fresh off a podcast as well that you did in 2023. Not as obviously popular as this one, but how was your experience on that one? And did you talk about mirror gaming at all while you were there?
Yeah, I was on Game Mess over on Giant Bomb, and I did a wee plug for Mirror Gaming. I was like, we get some good lads over there, and then we've got Aaron Potter as well. He's all right. But
maybe we'll get Jeff on one day.
I was riddled with COVID. I'll try. Yeah. I'll try.
Yeah, have a word, Scott.
Maybe possibly in the next few days or so, you might see me there again, and I might be able to push Mirror Gaming again. But
okay, interesting. All right, look out for
confirmed.
That. We'll look out for that. Cheers, Scott. Aaron, thank you so much for joining me on the first show of 2024. How are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm still waking up from the lashings of turkey I've eaten, all the chocolate. There's still remnants of chocolate wrappers in the house, some with chocolate still in, which is a bit of a problem. New Year's resolutions and all that. But I'm excited to talk about games. This is the first time I'm speaking to Scott this year, so that's exciting. And then The Traitors is also back tonight at 9 p.m. on BBC One, season 2. Let's go! Because we all know that The Traitors is basically Among Us, but paid for by the UK taxpayers. So what's not to love? Or license fee payers, sorry.
Don't you mean, what's it called? Duck Duck Goose, that game?
Oh, yeah, there's a bit of that. There's a bit of that. Yeah. During the actual...
Is that what it's called? Or is it Goose Goose Duck, where it's like just
Duck,
Among
Duck,
Us, but with geese? No, I'm not talking about the kids game.
Oh, right.
I'm talking about the game on Steam that is like Among Us, but you play as geese.
Isn't that Untitled Goose Game?
No, Goose Duck. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Scott always does that. He's like, isn't it like this really obscure thing that only I know? And expects us to like, oh yeah. Me and
Jasmine played Goose Duck together, right? If Jasmine was here, she would be like, I love Goose Duck. I'm a Goose Duck super fan.
Get it on stream then. Get a co-op stream going.
And then Party Animals to Among Us is what's it called? Gang Beasts. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that interesting chat. What have you both been up to for obviously over Christmas? Did you get to play any games? Did you get through any of your catalogue that you wanted to play? Talk to me about that.
Well, I know Scott's been playing a particularly popular fantasy RPG, from what I understand. So I had the best of intentions I installed Death Stranding Director's Cut on my PS5. Nice. I already own it on Steam, but I was like, I can't play this on Steam Deck. It's like a vast open, sort of like get it on the big screen. Didn't touch it, didn't fire it up once. Instead, I spent the most of my time mountains in between Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, because I've only really got into Act 1 before and I didn't get much further. But then, as you already know, Nathan, I have made a pretty decent amount of headway into Cyberpunk 2077. So I'm about halfway through. But I'm not one of these people that skip straight to the Phantom Liberty DLC. I was about 12 hours in on my original save, and then I just got head down, mainline the campaign, and then unlock that path. And now me and Idris have been hanging out. He's a very nice chap, this Solomon Reed.
He is, absolutely.
Yeah.
Scott, bit of BG3, I hear, from you over the
I've been
Christmas
playing
period. How's
that really popular fantasy RPG. I'm looking at my Steam and see what funny game I've played that isn't Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 1.
Yeah, Street Fighter 6. There we go. No, I've mainly been playing Baldur's Gate 3, and by that I mean like saying I'm going to play Baldur's Gate 3 today, and then I play The Binding of Isaac Repentance for like 5 hours, and then don't get around to playing Baldur's Gate. That's my like comfort game at the moment. So, but yeah, no, I'm a decent chunk in at Baldur's Gate. I think I'm about 40 hours in now, and I'm finally at Act 3. Turns out, right, you're going to be shocked. Strap your arses down here. That Baldur's Gate 3 is pretty good.
Is it a good game?
Pretty good game. I don't know if anyone's been brave enough to say that before.
Would it be a Mirror Gaming 5 out of 5, do you think? Sure. Who's to say?
Depends on who's reviewing it.
I don't know.
It's telling that it's been such a good year that even with how good it is and it finally clicking for me, I still don't think it like cracks number 8 in my game of the year list.
Really? Okay.
But before that really good segue opportunity presents itself,
I'm trying to look for an organic way to butt in, but there's not really one, so I'm just going to do it unorganically.
No, I'm saying you tell us what you've been playing.
Yeah, what have you been playing?
I wanted to play Ocarina of Time. I wanted to finish it off, but I could not find the VGA to HDMI adapter that I bought a couple of years ago. It is just like hidden itself away. I do have it on the Nintendo Switch because I have it Nintendo Switch Online. I bothered to just go from the start again, so I sort of looked for a half a day, gave up, and then I've just been playing the usual EAFC over Christmas.
Football
really
Manager.
getting into that content. Bit of FM, bit of FM as well over the holiday period. So very football centric stuff, but that's about it for me.
You've just reminded me with the mention of Nintendo Switch Online. I received an email a couple of weeks ago that it's almost time for the Nintendo Switch Online taxman to come a call-in.
Oh,
all right,
really?
your family plan's due for renewal. I've got to send out some vital text messages. I've got to, reestablish some WhatsApp chats because 50 quid a year, I ain't covering your ass to be able to play, the Mario Kart 8 DLC.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need to get hunting for that.
I hear it.
I'm shocked that still works as well as it does.
They don't.
I'm
it
shocked
doesn't just.
that,
they welcome it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm shocked that like all these years on that everyone's just paying like £2 a year for Nintendo Switch Online and no one's bothered. Like that's the type of thing that if PlayStation were doing it, you'd be like double charged or something like that if you tried it. But
maybe they'll Netflix it at some point.
Maybe they'll add an ads tier. Yeah,
like Prime Video. Yeah.
Now TV's been like that for ages. Now they have like a new on top of the 15 other Now TV subscriptions that you need to get because it's the best, but it's also the worst streaming service if we're gonna go there. But now they've got a new subscription you can get where you pay like an extra £7 a month to not get ads. But then you go to watch a movie and it's like, this program isn't supported for the ad-free thing. Oh no, I tell you what, sorry, that was ITVX. I do apologize to Now TV.
Oh,
I was trying to watch Wallace and Gromit Curse the Were Rabbit. I've been paying for the ITVX because the wife was watching Big Brother, and I was like, right, I'll treat her. And then forgot to cancel it for 6 months. But yeah, Wallace and Gromit Curse the Were Rabbit. They were like, I don't care that you're paying us £5. Watch this ad. It's disgusting.
Nice.
It is disgusting.
So anyway,
over. Yeah.
PlayStation had Marvel Spider-Man 2, which that didn't make it onto the list.
What a transition! Smooth as butter.
Smooth
there we go.
Operator. We've got some comments in the chat. We've got Jasmine. Hi, Jasmine. Thanks so much for watching. We've got Scott, obviously, as well. We've also got Adam L. Happy New Year. New Year's resolution for Aaron. Only give 20% of the games you review a 5-star.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Tongue out. We'll see, Adam. He can't. You can't tie him down to that. He needs to be given complete freedom, Adam. Don't tell him what to do. He needs to be given that freedom.
Can I just set the record straight on this? Because
Yeah,
I know I'm
go
going
ahead.
to it myself, but I can find you the tweet. I won't do it during this podcast. Maybe I'll do it during next week's podcast, where I believe it was around about. When did Jedi Survivor come out? March?
Why are you licking your lips? So
Yeah, Feb, March, April
I'm
time.
thinking intently. I was the one that was like, I tell you what, if this momentum keeps up, 2023 could be one of the best years ever. And then fast forward to December, fast forward to like October time, I'm hearing it in every gaff. 2023 has been such high. Oh, so anyway, I didn't mean to trigger.
It was
anybody.
April. It's 26th of April, 2023.
Oh, Nathan has it saved. He was like, I'm.
Well, he just googled the date, didn't?
Oh,
didn't
right. I thought you meant the tweet.
No. I
mean,
I googled your review. Yeah,
because Dead Space was January, and then I'm pretty sure.
What are you even going to be reviewing this year, though? Because I feel like the first kind of half of the year is like all RPGs, and it's like, me territory.
That Diablo 4, that immersive sim, I couldn't review.
No, but you don't really like JRPGs that much.
JRPGs, it's the time investment with JRPGs. It's just like I get bored of them after about 10 hours. So,
because it's
yeah.
Sorry, I was just gonna say it's like Infinite Wealth, Tekken, and Persona. And
we're going to get into that later on in the back half of the podcast. I believe it's like the 2024 games, right?
Oh yeah,
but
that was the plan. That was the plan.
Spoiler alert! I've already received my first review code of the year, so there you go.
Exclusive klaxon. We've got some comments from Adam. He's Trigger Boys. We got him.
Yeah.
Adam out. Yeah. Let me set the record straight. It's just pure W. So yeah. Jasmine also said, reply to my comment about Aaron getting the Cyberpunk DLC. Cowards. So original comment was, oh, Aaron, you have the DLC now. How did that happen? Not sure how much you want to go into it. On the last pod we did, you called out both Microsoft, I believe, and CD Projekt Red regarding the DLC.
I've gone red.
Right, I'll let you decide how much you want to go into it.
So to get people up to speed, there was this issue where if you bought the limited edition Xbox One of Cyberpunk 2077, if you picked up that edition, it was promised, similar to the Starfield situation, that you'd get free access to the first DLC. It turned out that there was only going to be one DLC for Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty. And I want to say, because I brought up the article in the last podcast, that in like September, by that point, IGN, shout out to them, published an article saying like people are still owed this. And, the DLC had already come out by that point. People that bought, because basically the DLC is only Series X. It wasn't Xbox One. So there was a bit of like a gray area about, are they owed it? Are they not? So I basically lambasted CD Projekt Red a bit by not addressing the issue. And from what I've seen, CD Projekt Red have still not like come out and said, Xbox One, here's how you do it. So one day I just, on the off chance ahead of Christmas, searched for the DLC and it said included in library, where a couple of months prior that wasn't the case. Day one, it definitely wasn't the case. So that's all it is there. So essentially, I didn't have to go on any live chats, didn't have to ring any customer support. Not the absolutely ludicrous suggestion that I was getting on this podcast of just call CD Projekt Red up on the phone. I'm like, no, that's not the point. Because what about the hundreds, potentially thousands of people that were stupid enough to play Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox One X? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, it's been resolved now, and I'm really enjoying the DLC.
You know what? It's a happy story. It's a really happy story. You didn't have to buy it. It was in your library. It's a positive
thing. It went
thing.
straight in my basket.
Yeah, it went straight in your basket. We've also got Alex in the chat. Hi, Alex. Thank you so much for watching. He's got a question. Anyone else give Lords of the Fallen a go? Just started this week.
So I haven't played Lords of the Fallen, the full version, but I previewed it a couple of months ago, Alex. And from what I've heard, it's a little bit ropey compared to some From Software stuff. But I thought it was really good from the preview that I played. I played the first area and the opening boss fight. So
nice.
I hope you're enjoying
it's never really clicked for me with any of the kind of non-From Software Souls things. I don't know why. It's never really done it for me. I played a bunch of Neo. I played a bunch of oh god, I forgot.
Do you play Armored Core as well?
That was From Software though.
Yeah.
That was on the list either. This isn't a good
Didn't you say
segue.
From Software though?
What about
Yeah.
Lies of P? Everyone
never played it.
agrees that is like the best non-From
Ah.
Software roguelike. 4 stars. Mirror Gaming.
Nice. Well, I hope that's answered your question, Alex. Let us know if it's a bit ropey. But talking about ropey, let's get on to our Game of the Year list that we did at the end of the year. We discussed this in last year's show because the video hadn't come out yet. So we're excited to reveal the Mirror Gaming Game of the Year 2023 list. The video is live on our YouTube channel now, and it's also in article form as well. 2023 could very well be one of the best years on record for video games ever, rivaling the likes of 2017, 1998, and 2004 for just how impressive, varied, and genre-defining the titles released have been. The Mirror Gaming team has duked it out diligently to give you our definitive ranking. From the return of a platforming icon to spine-tingling horror titles, here is Mirror Gaming's top 10 video games of 2023. Scott, do you want to do the honors? Because you did all the hard work. You pestered us all for our top 10 lists. We got it all together.
Congratulations to the Lord of the Rings Gollum for taking home our Game of the Year award. We've sent them a trophy. We've sent them a ring. We wrote our...
Because they've not got enough.
They wrote their acceptance speech in ChatGPT and left in typos. No, so I don't know. I'm going to run down the list. Am I going to...
Countdown.
Okay.
I want you to the.
So
wait a minute. Before you do that, Scott. Go on.
Before I do that, what?
World premiere.
World premiere. I mean, I happened last week, but yes, I've forgotten the order. So let's see if I'm not. It's not.
Do you want me to,
I'm doing this from memory.
off?
No, I'm doing it from memory.
Really good.
I'll correct you.
So in terms of honorable mentions, it was City Skylines 2, Hi-Fi Rush, Samba de Amigo, My Time at Sandrock, Dead Island 2.
These are honorable mentions, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Scott, I've put in the private chat the doc that has got the list on.
Don't care. I'm doing it from memory now. Number 10 was Pizza Tower.
Yes.
Which was that was self-indulgence for myself there. I'll explain that in a bit. 9 was Party Animals.
Correct.
8 was Immortals of Avium.
Yes.
7 was Islanders VR.
Correct.
6, Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
Correct.
5, Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
This is impressive, actually.
4, Alan Wake 2.
Correct.
3, Resident Evil 4.
Yep.
2, Street Fighter 6.
And the game of the year.
The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, that one.
There we go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can explain. Basically, we got a list. We didn't make a list. I got each member of staff to make their top 10 games of the year. Each, 1 get 10 points, 2 get 9 points, so on and so forth.
It was very
compiled all. And for any ties, I took a number of factors into account. So, for example, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Jedi Survivor, Islanders VR, and Immortals of Avium, they all get 10 points. But 3 people voted for Super Mario Bros. Wonder, so Super Mario got the win. And City Skylines 2 and Pizza Tower and something else, Dead Island 2, all get 9s. And because I was in charge, I put Pizza Tower in the top 10 because no one could stop me. So, but for the most part, I want to say everything other than Alan Wake, Resident Evil, Street Fighter, and Legend of Zelda. They were all clearly in their spots. So as a top 5, we've got no leeway at all. That's our top 5. For the rest of it, a little bit of leeway, but it's okay. And Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Nobody's number 1. No, wait, it was yours. I do apologize. It was Nathan's number 1. But it was in every list. So there we go.
I can't even remember what my number. Well, I do know what my number 1 was, but I can't remember what my list.
You were Jedi, Resident Evil, Zelda, maybe Alan Wake.
That would make sense.
There you are. Jedi, Resident Evil, Tears of the Kingdom, Sea of Stars, Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake, Dredge, Mario Wonder, Dead Space, Final Fantasy 16.
That's a cracking list. That's all I'd say.
Cracking.
That's a sea of
What-
stars. Woo.
What are we making of the list then? After a period of reflection, are we all happy? Is the things that we'd want to swap out? Do we think?
I mean,
The bigger mission is Baldur's Gate 3, and that's because none of us had played it when the voting happened, which was unfortunate.
And even then, with if it was like if I'd played it, it still wouldn't make the list because no one else has played it.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I don't know. There was two ways to go about it. We could have either done the democratic vote, which we did, or we could have done like we just sit in a room and we discuss it and we argue. Which
I think we would have had a very different list if we did that method.
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
Like I don't think
like a battle royale sort of situation.
Yeah, as much as I'm happy about it, I don't think Street Fighter 2 Street Fighter would have made it to 2 because I'm the only one who plays fighting games regularly, but then Jasmine really liked it, so I ended up with a lot of points. But like, so while that worked out in my favor, I think.
Oh, his mic's okay. Well, I'll take over from Scott.
I wish that was me, but I don't think I have the power to mute. I do actually.
Hello.
He's back, but he's not through his desk.
I think
mic.
your mic has just decided to.
Oh no!
Oh, there you go.
All right.
He's
Okay.
back.
Yeah. So
this didn't happen when you went on with Jeff Grubb, does it?
No.
So, standards.
Because I was animated here. I'm like,
passionate.
Islanders VR. Right. Sorry. Jasmine's in the comments saying
This was my thing.
Islanders VR banger, and then started chatting about Resident Evil 4 remake. Islanders VR is a VR remake of the game Islanders that came out in 2021, and also is more of a remake than Resident Evil 4 is.
It's not a remake. It's a port, as far as I'm concerned. It's a VR port. So this happens all the time, right? Power Wash Simulator came out to VR devices last year, and is the exact same. It's just a straight 1-for-1, handled by a different studio. But Jasmine really liked it. Like, it technically has a different title, so this is where I think the differences would come. Like, if we were all sat in a room, I would have voiced up saying like, I don't
also,
think
yeah, that
counts.
should probably clarify. Rules wise, the only rules were really it has to be something that came out this year. Early access
games.
Early access wasn't allowed. Remakes are allowed, like Dead Space, Resident Evil 4, Mario RPG, but remasters like Persona 4 Golden or Metroid.
But DLCs were, because I put Phantom Liberty in mine.
Phantom Liberty was
big. It's a big enough.
Yeah,
it's big enough.
Phantom Liberty could have been sold as a standalone, but everyone else is treating it. Everyone else is treating it as a thing. I think if it had actually made the list, it maybe would have, I maybe would have had to talk about it, but because it wasn't, Nathan's was the last list in, so it wasn't something I had to think about.
I would have put, but I tell you that I would have put like in my head, Phantom Liberty makes more sense than a VR port of an existing game.
I agree.
Because at least it's new content.
I agree.
But these are
and it transformed the game as well. It wasn't just like the new DLC; it was also the update that came with it, which made the game.
See, no, that's the thing. I don't count that. I don't count.
I don't count the 2.0 update.
But I can count.
If they
as a package,
if they put Phantom Liberty on a box on a shelf in a store bought individually, then the case would be a lot stronger.
They've got the Ultimate Edition, though, haven't they?
I think Resident Evil 4 is a much better game with separate ways included, but I wouldn't put like Resident Evil 4 separate ways as like a spot on its own.
Well, other than separate ways and Phantom Liberty, were there many like big noteworthy paid for DLCs that came out? Really? You had the Dredge update. You had the David.
I mean, if you want to get really granular about it, like Baldur's Gate 3's Act 2 and 3 came out this year. Baldur's Gate 3 existed for like 3 years now. So it's a weird conversation to have. But the other thing is, to go back to the point when we were talking about, had this been a discussion, how would it have gone down differently? Spider-Man 2 would have made it, despite it not deserving to. I think personally, I don't know if you all agree, I think if we discussed it, we'd all either land on Zelda again or we'd land on Alan Wake.
Yeah.
No, Zelda would have undeniably always been at the top of our list, I think, because the most people on the team played it, and everybody agrees that it's like, it's heavily based on the framework that Breath of the Wild set, but it does enough different, and obviously it's a standalone game.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, everyone everyone had it on their list, barring Jasmine, but only Nathan had it at number 1, which I think's interesting.
But like this whole Alan Wake 2 thing, like I think a lot of people love Alan Wake 2 a lot more than me, and I think they find it difficult to separate. Like I never hear anybody bring up the issues with Alan Wake 2 when to me they're so glaring, and it frustrates me to no end because if they weren't there, it would be what everybody else is saying it is.
What do you mean the combat was clunky and
it's the
shooting?
combat, the save system. I think the mind play stuff is just totally useless.
I don't
for the most
think
part.
that the combat in Alan Wake 2 is any worse than any other horror game, though.
But Resident Evil 4's combat is
not Resident Evil 4. Obviously, Resident Evil 4 is an action game. That's
Dead
not
Space,
a horror game.
2 horror games that both came out last year that are both better combat than Alan Wake 2. Better save systems, better combat.
I never played the Dead Space remake, but I know that like Resident Evil 2 remake is also quite clunky, because it's almost intentionally so to make it a bit scarier.
Yeah, but it's still better than Alan Wake 2's though, dude.
I think the storytelling in Alan Wake 2
yeah, it's
right. Whoa.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm just trying to.
I really love Alan Wake 2. I wish I could have given it 5 stars.
I'm not saying that in like it's such an obvious choice. Oh, because it would either have been that, would either have to do the argument about Resident Evil with Jasmine, which would have been
the remake thing?
Yeah, we'd have to do that argument about 6 times in a row, and it'd be horrible, and we'd all fight. Would land on Zelda. Somehow Alan Wake 2 would prevail. That's the only ways I could have seen that going.
Well, Jasmine is calling Aaron out in the comments. Aaron would never say this to my face, I swear, but now he's all tough behind the screen. It's a port, blah, blah. And then
I have said that to her face, I'm pretty sure, anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did. I think I was there as well. Adam L is on Team Jasmine for the foreseeable future. Funny that after all the comments about Project Q and everything, suddenly switched sides. Yeah. Thanks.
I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 almost made our list. If we're gonna go even more behind the music,
yeah, let's not get into that discussion. Because one of the rules that you didn't say was that you have to have played the game, which obviously is an implied. But it's an implied thing. Aaron is hiding, I believe now.
So my top 10 favorite games of the year: Immortals of Avium, which I didn't play.
I have played Immortals of Avium for a couple of hours, and as we were saying pre-pod, it's pretty decent.
I have played Baldur's Gate. We were on stream together.
Oh yeah, you hated it.
Yes,
you were like dead enthusiastic though. You were playing it, and you were like, this is fun. And then the second we went off stream, you were like, that was the worst thing I've ever played.
Yeah, but can I not change my opinion of it?
You can. I would much rather you have given me a different list. But hey, what can we do?
Hey ho, yeah, exactly.
But let's just go for like potential omissions then.
I have played it, Jasmine. Sorry, Jasmine. There's video evidence of me playing it. Go and have a look on our YouTube. I struggled with it because I didn't do any research with it, but I still enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't like there's worse things in the world, like go to the dentist or whatever. It wasn't that bad. When I say it's terrible, I still had a good time because I was on stream with Scott. So yeah, sorry, Aaron, carry on.
Every game's a good game when you play it in online co-op, i.e. Borderlands.
Oh no, I thought Baldur's Gate 3 was crap as a multiplayer game. Like I would not play that multiplayer. Maybe couch co-op, but see when Nathan's like halfway across the map and suddenly I'm in a fight halfway across the map that I need to use my turns to get to. No.
My only counter towards that is that co-op is so important to Larian that they were willing to keep it off a platform and ship it.
They were saying split screen co-op, which I agree with. I think that game would be good in split screen when you have someone there and you can talk about stuff. But see, when it's like me and Nathan trying to explore for a stream, But yeah, we're going to talk about a mission.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, because obviously, as well as our list, people's lists have been published over, and I just think so. Baldur's Gate 3 probably the biggest one, but we've explained our reasoning for that. We've all got jobs to do, and there's only a certain number of hours in the day to play games as it is. Others, Spider-Man 2 got a 5-star. I've seen that top quite a lot of people's lists. The safe choice.
I liked Spider-Man 1 a lot, and I do like Spider-Man 2, but it was just like not this year, I guess, is my thing. Like, I think I could understand it more like in 2022 or something like that, but in a year that's been so like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
groundbreaking, a game that's that safe and has a third act that bad, it's like maybe
Did
not.
you just call it Assassin's Creed as well, but with Spider-Man?
Yeah, no. So like Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man wasn't exactly revolutionary. You know, it had a good story, and it was very much like that open world template we're used to, but with good swinging and a good story. You know, as it's a good game, but it's like it wasn't like exactly pushing boundaries, and I don't think Spider-Man 2 did enough to push.
Islanders VR number 7 on the Mirror Gaming top 10 list. Everyone.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
didn't push boundaries either, but made it on the list.
Aaron, if you'd asked me, I would have had
Party
the discussion.
animals.
I would have done the discussion version of this. I think
we should have got everyone on a live stream, shouldn't we, just to hash it out?
That's how I originally pitched this, but we kind of decided, you know, we also have jobs to do. Where
that's true.
This would probably be a quicker way to do it. But like,
but yeah,
I mean,
this was the fairest way, I think. Right?
I think Spider-Man 2 makes the list. You know.
Yeah, it doesn't make the top. It doesn't crack the top 5, but I think it would take like 8 or 9.
But yeah, I don't know. I at least for me, I thought it was, you know, kind of. I'd even push to say it's maybe the worst of the 3 for me. I think if it was as good as it was in Act 2 for the whole game, it would have been like right up there. But
that it opens so strong as well, doesn't it? That's the And then you've got I'm gonna say it, Diablo 4. Gave it a 5. It was a great game when it came out upon release. That main campaign, there's this. It's all about expectation, right? Like if Diablo 4 launched as a single player only game, 5 classes, 25-hour campaign, incredibly detailed map, stacked tons of side quests, people would be loving it. The fact that it's a live service game, they keep messing about with the balancing. The rewards for all of the seasonal content aren't especially great. That is what drags it down, in my eyes.
I think if Diablo 4 came out in like October or like November, it would have been on a lot more lists. But I think because they kind of burned themselves a bit with how Season 1 was handled, that, you know, they lost a lot. It'd be like, see if Overwatch's 2018 happened within the first year of it coming out, it wouldn't have made lists, you know?
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing. And it's like, I get it. Like, I didn't really, you know, Diablo's not really my thing, so it wouldn't have made mine anyway.
Yeah.
But I think because of when it released, it maybe worked against it.
Yeah. We'll talk about expectations as well. Games with huge expectations. Starfield recently won the most innovative game at the Steam Game Awards, I believe today or yesterday. I don't think people know what innovative means.
Yeah, I mean,
that is the anti-innovative.
But I believe it was on my list because I played it, right, and it was pretty low down. I really enjoyed it.
9 for you, maybe.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I love Bethesda games. I love space games.
I mean,
Bethesda games, space games. Like, it was good. It was nowhere near Game of the Year. Still really enjoyed playing it. I think I gave it a 4 overall because of how much I enjoyed it. But I didn't see that on anyone's list. I don't know.
I mean, there were
you two.
a lot of questionable things in the Steam Awards, such as 2018's Red Dead Redemption 2 winning Labor of Love, and that game based on the really bad Wizard series being called Best Steam Deck Game, even though Baldur's Gate 3
Wizards of Waverly Place
works on Steam Deck and won Game of the Year. But hey, I mean, Starfield made a couple of I think I saw.
I think Gaming Bible had it quite high.
Yeah, it definitely showed up in a few places, but again, any other year, I think it would have made the Game Awards. Like if it came out last year, I reckon it would have been nominated at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
It's just there are certain games that I think will get big nominations and big things no matter what. Like I think the next Bethesda game always gets a good push. I think something like Spider-Man 2 this year, where there's a lot that could be there and should be there. I don't know.
Guys, let's just remember that Starfield is not meant to be fun all the time, all right? The astronauts, they were bored up in space sometimes. So it's all right for you to be bored in Starfield sometimes.
The whole time.
In terms of other emissions, Final Fantasy 16, I saw appear on a couple people's list. That's a game that would benefit from not being called Final Fantasy. And I stand by that.
I never finished it.
The amount of controversy that came from, it's not turn-based anymore. Is this a Final Fantasy game? Is this what it should be? Just call it Forspoken, and I think people would have loved it.
Just call it Devil May Cry.
Maybe another name.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, not Devil May Cry. Final Fantasy
Devil
16.
May Cry.
Final Fantasy 16 was the ultimate wrong place, wrong time for me this year, because I want to say I got it in just after wrapping up Street Fighter for review, and then I think the next week I got Pikmin 4 in for review. So
I was just going to say that's another big omission. That was going to be my next.
Oh yeah,
one.
that would be that's another one where I think I would have fought to get Pikmin 4 on the list, and I think I don't know if I'd get it there, but if we did discuss it.
So this was my thing with making Pizza Tower number 10, because you've said on this podcast that was you indulging yourself. That's fine. You're the only person on the team that's played it, as far as I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But me and you can both agree that Pikmin 4 is a 4/5-star game, and that would have been the number 10 for me.
Again, I want to clarify. I was working within what was approached to me, and
Yeah. If I put Pikmin 4 in my top 10, it probably would have been there, I guess. And it's my
I think we need to wait for the inquiry into the list first before we go into there's still a lot of work ongoing. We
need to look through the WhatsApp messages. We need
all those, but I think your Slack messages have been lost. You said, Scott, they've been deleted. You can't recover them.
So. On a different laptop.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Destroyed the hard drives, burned the papers. No, I mean, I think Pizza Tower is a banger, but I don't think.
Is it better than Starfield?
Pizza Tower is better than every game this year except for Street Fighter 6.
Alan Wake 2 Resident Evil 4 remake.
Pizza Tower is one of
Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Pizza Tower is one of the most innovative platformers I have ever played in my life. I think it is incredible. I think it's the best platformer to come out last year, and that's saying something considering how good Super Mario Bros. Wonder was, But had we done a big discussion, I don't think I would have put the energy into fighting for it when I know that something like Pikmin 4, could have used that energy and actually made the list, because I don't think anyone else would have outshot. When it came to Pizza Tower, it was a case of okay, I was just deciding ties because there was no point if we were doing it vote wise.
Yeah.
Which is why the kind of honorable mentions was a bit more important, but
yeah.
I mean, it was Pizza Tower, City Skylines, or Dead Island 2.
Island 2. Let's go.
Which,
fun game.
I think when.
Anyway, should we go and talk about the 2024 games?
Yeah, so we've got a comment from Adam L. Is this podcast really going to talk about the games we can't play we can't wait to play?
I can't wait to talk about Adam L.
Yeah, so Adam L.
We're not
here we go. We're going to be talking about 2024 games, and I'm going to be asking at the end of the show for a prediction of game of the year for this year. So have that in the back of your minds as well. So the games of 2024, I've got a list here. Our list that it wasn't a list, it was just a roundup of the games we're most excited for.
Can I get out in front of this and say I wasn't here?
Here we go.
I don't know how Skull and Bones made this list.
Right, so can I get out in the front of this then? And say
you lead it, Aaron. You lead it.
Right. So I primarily led this.
Yeah.
And because there wasn't enough time, Scott was off. He claims to have organised the 2023 Game of the Year list, but I still had to organise everything.
Someone uploaded it to queue that wasn't him.
Yeah.
God forbid I had to put a couple links in. Oh, no.
It was a joint effort, as far as I'm concerned. Basically, I originally started out this list by saying I wanted everything to be dated, like hard dates for the 2024 list. I eventually conceded when I realised that there wasn't Xbox supposedly have some big 2024 exclusives coming this year. They're not all coming this year. You're not going to get Fable and Avowed in the same year. Absolutely not. And if we do, play this back to me, and I don't know.
So you think Fable will come out ahead of Avowed?
No, I think Avowed is next.
Yeah, a Fable, all we've seen is a CGI cinematic trailer, essentially.
Fable's in the list.
I know, but it's the big game people know and they're looking forward to, right?
After,
and I think you're looking forward to it as well.
I am very much. Let's go into the list. So we've got Skull and Bones, Little Nightmares 3, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Dragon's Dogma 2, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Fable, Star Wars Outlaws, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Princess Peach, Showtime, and Banishers, Ghost of New Eden. Just looking at we've only, like Aaron said before, we've only got a few games with a confirmed release date. So some of the games that are coming out very shortly, you've got Prince of Persia: Last Crown, Jan 18th, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, Jan 19th. You've got Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Jan 26. You've got Tekken 8, also Jan 26.
The game that will never come out, I swear, Tekken 8. My God, I'm sick of hearing about it.
We'll see.
Did you see
moving into February, we've got Persona 3 Reload. Sorry, Scott, I'm just trying to get through this. Persona 3 Reload, Feb 2nd. We've got Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Feb 2nd again. Helldivers 2, Feb 8.
Yes,
Banishers Ghost New Eden, Feb 13. We've got Mario versus Donkey Kong, which I know that Scott's really excited for. Feb 16th. Skull and Bones, Feb 16th as well. It's going to compete with Mario versus Donkey Kong. What are they thinking? You've also got Pacific Drive, February 22nd. Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster. Don't know if anyone's bothered about that. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, February 29th, and then going into March, it's a little bit bleak. It's a little bit more.
Barren.
Yeah, Baron.
Dragon's Dogma, and then
Dragon's Dogma, Princess Peach, Rise of the Ronin, and then April's even more so. There's not really anything in April, but some of the things we haven't got confirmed for yet. Some of the bigger games. You've got Ark 2 on the Xbox and PC. You've got City Skylines 2 on consoles, which isn't out yet either. You've got the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, which I cannot wait for. You've got Fable, Final Fantasy 14. 2 releases there. You've got Foam Stars also coming this year. Hades 2.
Yes.
As you mentioned, Avowed as well, potentially. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD for the Switch. Multiverses coming back potentially. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, a bunch of McDonald's stuff leaked today. Like McDonald's Happy Meal, the next McDonald's Happy Meal toys are going to be multiverses.
No
based.
way.
Yeah.
Okay, that's even more doubtful than what some of the others would talk about. We've got Paper Mario as well.
Paper Mario,
yeah. We've got Star Wars Outlaws, which doesn't have a date, but they're definitely saying it's coming this year. And then Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, which is something I'm really looking forward to as well. It was supposed to come out in 2018, and it's been 6 years, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Adam L's also calling me out for not putting Warhammer Space Marine 2 on the list. I'm not a pure letdown. That I believe at the time of writing that article, it wasn't yet dated. So
that's correct.
They just delayed it, but now it's coming out in September. So
it was meant to come out like this year.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The one thing I've also got to say, I admit I was a little, biased in my kind of choice for the Game of the Year list. Why didn't you put Helldivers in here?
I honestly don't know. I think so. Basically, to go into the nitty gritty, Princess Peach Showtime, that was a Jasmine pick. Fable was a Nathan pick. Like a Dragon and Dragon's Dogma 2, those were both Scott picks. Everything else was me. Like, I kind of wanted to poke fun at Skull and Bones a little bit because I still think it's going to be delayed and I think that'd be funny. Little Nightmares 3, I'm genuinely looking forward to because I love those games. Suicide Squad. Lewis Barton in the chat earlier, I mean, it's way back. He said, are there any 2024 games you're dreading rather than looking forward to? I think Suicide Squad is the one for me because I'm going to have to play it. And in my head, I'm like, can it be any worse than Gotham Knights? Probably. But this is Rocksteady, guys.
There's been stuff going about Suicide Squad that doesn't, I think from the alpha maybe, that doesn't sound particularly...
Yeah.
promising.
But I think that's mainly like story-based, but we'll see.
Let's answer Lewis's question then. So, Aaron, is that your game that you're dreading? Is that what you're saying? That in 2024 that people are excited about, but you're thinking, oh no.
Out of all those that you just read, like not just the one on our top 10 list, but everything else, I'd probably have to say Suicide Squad. I mean, I don't play Like a Dragon, so I could say I'm dreading that because the Like a Dragon fans are going to be at it again, everyone.
And on that note,
we never stop.
Scott, what game are you most dreading this year? That people are excited for, but you're like, that's going to be rubbish.
Thank you, Adam L. Sorry.
People are excited for it. It's going to be rubbish. It's going to be Star Wars Outlaws, but I'm not excited for that, so I wouldn't really say I'm dreading it.
Looks good. It looks good.
I don't know. I honestly could not tell you what I'm like, excited for that I don't think it's gonna. I mean, I played like a Dragon
Mario
at
versus Donkey
EGX.
Kong. You don't.
I think that the first Mario vs Donkey Kong is a good game. I was just disappointed that it wasn't a new Donkey Kong after it was leaked. And I love Donkey Kong 94, which is also a very good game.
I'll tell you what I'm dreading. Oh, sorry, Scott, go on.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, whatever the next Call of Duty ends up being, because it's rumored to be Black Ops, and I like the Black Ops games, at least the period set ones. But Modern Warfare 3, I wouldn't even touch it. So
it's Treyarch, so
yes, Treyarch. Come on, Treyarch.
So yeah, I mean, I played like a Dragon at EGX. I played Persona at Gamescom. So like, I already have a feel that they're going to be good.
Yeah.
Are you dreading Skull and Bones? That's what Adam Mel's just put.
I am. I think if they release that,
I didn't think
on
that
the
had a
day,
chance to be good from like day one.
If that comes out early this year, it'll be a mess, I think.
Oh, I tell you what, Wolf Among Us 2. I'm dreading that.
Okay.
I feel like that has the potential to be stinking. What else is? I'm looking at the list here. There is something else I saw that I was like, this could. I'm worried about Multiverses coming back because I did like it a lot. That Lollipop Chainsaw remake is probably going to be absolute dreck.
But have we seen anything of that? It's just vaporware, but isn't it? Like it was.
I think it's like it was a remake. Now it's a remaster or something like that. But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of me in terms of dreading stuff. But again, like
something we haven't mentioned is the Starfield DLC as well.
I don't know if that makes next year, right?
Don't know. They haven't confirmed it.
Surely they should do a CG project and make the actual game good first.
Well,
no, Adam L. Wolf Among Us 1 was amazing. The Wolf Among Us 1 was also made by like 2013 Telltale. And it was probably the last good game Telltale ever made. Other than when was Borderlands? Was that afterwards? But, other than that.
Yeah.
Like Walking Dead Season 2 was crap. Season 3 was even worse. But yeah, I mean, we should probably talk about our actual list rather than being negative Nancy's.
I mean, the list that we did wasn't like a titled list, right? It wasn't like a numbered list that we could look to for like the games we're most excited for. But one game where you'd be like, okay, this is the game that I'm really looking forward to playing this year. Aaron,
go. Off the list
of anything on there, any games we've talked about, anything coming out this year.
Scott's gonna hate me, and I'm not even convinced myself that it'll make it this year, but it is Star Wars Outlaws because I'm fed up with Star Wars media that isn't in a game, to be honest, because it's all like dancing around the Skywalker saga. Whereas this one, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, we just had a Ubisoft Avatar open world game, and guess what? It was sci-fi Far Cry, I suppose. Not in all areas, but it was close enough. Whereas I feel like Star Wars Outlaws is doing something that Starfield isn't. It's doing ground to space like travel. You can get into a ship, fly into space, and do it. And the fact that Ubisoft, okay, they have this 7 out of 10 like mid quality bar in terms of like their open world games, right? But when you've got Starfield, like I'd rather have a known quantity set in a universe I love, as opposed to something that's too ambitious and ends up falling flat on its face. And I'm just really curious to see, because this will be the first AAA Star Wars game since EA lost the exclusive license to it to come out. So that's the one I'm most looking forward to. And then I'll give a sneaky mention to Banisher's Ghost of New Eden, which is at the bottom of this list. I previewed it last year, and I think it's really a third-person story-driven RPG. It just kicks ass, basically. So that's me.
Nice. Scott?
Just to quickly, like, I won't hate you for being excited for Star Wars Outlaws. I just don't think it's good. As someone who, since the rise of Skywalker, cannot look at Star Wars.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That's how bad that movie was. I've not watched Mandalorian or Rebels or whatever it was called. Andor, is that what it was called?
Yeah, and there's Rebel Moon as well, isn't there?
And I never finished Jedi Survivor. The Rise of Skywalker has lit that on fire. And then I've not enjoyed a Ubisoft game since like Rayman Legends, whenever that was. So it's like, it's nothing for me. It's not there for me. I'm sure it'll be okay.
Yours is going to be
and-
Dragon's Dogma 2. I know it is.
No, it's Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
Oh, well, this month though.
Yeah, I behind the music here, but I've been looking at my emails for the last like week, being like, when is this coming through? I want a review code offer. I'm like desperate to play it. Like a Dragon, or not Like a Dragon, Yakuza Like a Dragon was my like game of the year back 2020, and that was another really good year. I feel like doesn't get enough praise 2020. But what a game that was. And
Can I ask you a question on the Like a Dragon thing? Sorry to interrupt. When will people have had enough? Because we're getting like 2 of these a year, and they're all like 60 hours. Do you know what I mean? I hate to come across as a negative
when they
Nancy,
stop
but-
being good, I guess it's like. I mean, you say that, but there hasn't really been a proper Like a Dragon since.
Like a Dragon.
Yeah, since Yakuza Like
in
a Dragon.
2020.
Like the
It's-
one that came out last year was only about like 8 hours long. It was like a Ground Zeroes kind of thing, you know.
What was it called?
The Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who raised his name.
I rest my case. And then you've got these Judgment games. There's Judgment.
Yeah.
Lost Judgment.
Oh, no, yeah, no. There was Judgment. There was Like a Dragon Ishin and all that. But like, it just depends because like I only play the ones that I'm interested in. You know, I haven't played Judgment. I haven't played Ishin. I'm only really playing like the mainline stuff.
And it's not just Like a Dragon I have this problem with. It's kind of like other pieces of Sega's portfolio as well in terms of like Persona 5. We've had about 6 Persona 5 spin-offs. I think it's time for Persona 6 now. Like, but that's just me.
Welcome to the Persona fan base, because it was the exact same when Persona 4 was out. Everyone was like, please stop Persona 4. We need Persona 5. Yeah, no, I mean, I also, you know, I mean, I inherently agree there's too much because I don't play them all, you know, but each of them, people still like them, you know. I think this seems more like, I don't know why. I think I've said this before on a podcast maybe, but this feels like, you know, this feels like the big one for them. This feels like it's gotten a push that none of the other ones have. And it feels like it's going to be huge because, like, you're like kind of locked into an area on the demo, but see if you like look at the map, it's like, and obviously you'll probably be going around all the other cities as well. But yeah, I don't know. I'm very excited for that because I like the last one a lot, but I also haven't been playing each one that comes out. And I like playing them back to back is a good way to burn yourself out, I'm sure. Like I know people have played all of them like in a row, and I'm like, I wouldn't do that to myself.
But Nathan, what are you most looking forward to then? Games this year? Obviously, you got the Elden Ring DLC, which we could theoretically be playing as early as next month if rumors and leaks are to be believed.
Yes, that's the one for me. The Elden Ring DLC. I just cannot wait to get into that. Finished Elden Ring recently. Absolutely loved it. Did pretty much everything there is to do apart from Melania, just because I couldn't be bothered to go to the tree and just
summon her. Just summon for her. There's no shame in it.
Yeah, but yeah, I might do that actually. But yeah, the DLC, the fact they've took this long on it gives me a lot of hope that it's going to be amazing. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's the one. But I will agree with Aaron in that Star Wars Outlaws, if it gets it right, if it doesn't go too big in scale and it gets it just right, it might be the Starfield we wanted in a way, but set in the Star Wars universe. I think that could be a really, really good combination. I know you've talked to some of the developers as well. Was that game? Where was that? Where did you talk to?
That was Summer Games Fest.
Summer Games Fest, yeah.
Ubisoft Forward or whatever it was called.
And I think one of the developers let slip that potentially Tatooine might be there as well, potentially.
Yeah.
So
When is it set? Sorry?
Jabba the Hutt.
It's set between Empire and Return of the Jedi. So,
right.
And the thing, I think, I can't remember if they said this directly or if someone else coined this, but what they seem to be pitching it as GTA Star Wars. So, with, you know, just a handful of planets similar to Star Wars Jedi Survivor. That's
not all planets have been confirmed yet, have they? They're leaving a little bit. They've confirmed Tatooine.
Some are new, some are pre-existing.
Yeah.
So
how many awkward crap cameos are there going to be? Will Darth
Probably
Vader
a
show
lot.
up? That's the question? Like, will they force Darth Vader into it?
I don't know. 5 and 6, he is about, isn't he? Like that's
Yeah.
you want to. They wouldn't set it between those
Mm.
films had they not had plans to do something to that effect.
I mean, Han Solo is out of action, so you can't have him show up. But yeah, that's my thing about. I think Jedi Fallen Order used Darth Vader incredibly. I think Rogue One squandered it. Why did you have him show up halfway through the film to make some sassy jokes in the bin?
Be
I mean,
careful not to choke on your aspirations.
that like, see if he just showed up at the end, that would have been a top 10 all timer. But like, so yeah, we're kind of at the end. So let's do it. Money on the table. What's
Game of the year.
What's your game of the year going to be by the end of the year? Let's just assume that like all the games that are slated for 2024 are going to come out 2024. You know,
I'll tell you what will be a lot of people's game of the year. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will be a lot of people's in top 5, potentially top 3.
I think that's gonna be so telling, that one, for the third game, because if this one is also really good, then we're set. But if this one because obviously the first game was a lot of a remake, and then here's some Kingdom Hearts crap. But
what do I think? What is this my game of year or
12 months from now, you're sitting on the first podcast of 2024, 5, whatever, and you're talking about your 2024 game of the year.
Yeah.
What is it going to be?
Mine would probably be Star Wars Outlaws or Space Marine 2, or actually Hades 2.
Oh,
get in.
That's a pretty good shout.
Although are they doing an early access release for that?
Yeah,
I can't
they
remember. They
Yeah.
probably wouldn't be eligible, but that game.
I think that
Football Manager 2049.
Well, that will be the first one going to Unity, where the match engine will actually be not the match engine, but the match experience will actually be decent. You've also got the new F1 game, the new EAFC game. All those, I don't think any of them will be game of the year. But just talking about, I think if Avowed comes out this year, I think it's got a good chance.
Subsidian, good pedigree.
I think it's got a good chance. If Fable comes out this year, I think it might have a good chance as well. But it'll probably be. It might even be Dragon's Dogma 2, because that could be 2024's Baldur's Gate 3. I think the only thing that Dragon's Dogma 2 has got against it is how early it's coming out in the year. Because people might sort of forget about it towards the end of the year. Not forget about it, but it might have just waned a bit,
I'll say that this year won't be as strong as 2023 in terms of like 5 out of 5s and like 10 out of 10s.
Unless you really like JRPGs, because I think this first few months are like JRPGs and fighting games. This first few months is stacked. But yeah. Very quickly, games I'm dreading. If Street Fighter 6 goes the way of Diablo 4 and becomes bad this year, that's what I'm dreading. There we go. For me, I'd be shocked if it isn't Infinite Well for Dragon's Dogma 2. It's going to be one of them.
Okay.
If Dragon's Dogma 2 is a Dragon's Dogma that's as good as Capcom has been over the last like however many years from the Devil May Cry 5 team, who Devil May Cry 5 was also phenomenal. I'm going to be shocked if it's not either one of those. But I could see maybe, I don't know, Hades
Foam
2
Stars
or something.
could be your game of the year, Scott.
Oh, I tell you what, I played Foam Stars at Gamescom. I really like Foam Stars.
Yeah,
I'm dreading that as well, because I feel like that's going to die very quickly, but it's going to have like hyenas on me. But you know what, Foam Stars.
It depends how they handle it. It depends. Like everyone's really positive on it.
It's Square Enix. So
yeah.
Don't really trust.
Lewis in the chat says most anticipated for him EAFC 25. Least anticipated EAFC 25 as well.
Finally, someone talking the truth. Finally, a real gamer.
One thing I will say about the F1 games is that last year's F1 game, they concentrated a lot on the handling mechanics because of the way the cars changed, and they really refined it. And that means that not much was done to the career mode, the single player career mode. A lot of fans are thinking that this year they're going to do a massive revamp of the single player career, which is if they get that right, it could be huge as well. So just
I'll
wanted
tell
to
you what,
throw that out there.
just also while we're talking about it, I'm excited to see WWE 24 because 22 was good, and then 23 is the best one they've had in years. I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Okay.
And as a final, because we need to wrap it up, the film and television releases this year: Knuckles the Echidna Show, Fallout, Borderlands the movie, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Dead Cells the animated series, Devil May Cry the animated series, Tomb Raider the animated series. What's going to be the best one, and why is it going to be Sonic the Hedgehog 3?
I can't wait for the Fallout series on Prime. I think that'll be really
We'll
good.
be talking about that on the pod, I think, week to week. That'd be cool. If they can work out if they're releasing it week to week or not. I'm not sure with Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they do things.
Scott, a quick Sonic the Hedgehog 3 question then. Is Jim Carrey coming back? Have they said?
Is he not?
I don't think he's confirmed,
Retired.
Yeah, I know he's
I mean, in the last movie, I can't remember specifically. I think he's like presumed dead in that universe, but I'd be shocked if he didn't show up, But also, they've got Shadow the Hedgehog to kind of carry this one, so I don't know. But
do we know
it's
who's
like
voicing him yet, Shadow?
No, but probably who do we think?
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt.
It'll be like
Garfield next year.
Nicholas Hoult or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Jared Leto.
Hope not. And on that,
Twisted Metal 2. Yeah, Adam L says Twisted Metal Season 2. I'd like them to make Twisted Metal Season 1 available in the UK, but
Twisted Metal is probably my favorite of last year's shows. I think that was really good. I didn't watch The Last of Us, but I really like Twisted Metal.
You didn't watch The Last of Us at all? Missing out.
I know, but then I'm gonna have to watch Season 2 and relive how bad The Last of Us 2 was again. So.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Anyway, we'll be doing that in the next couple of weeks. So yeah.
And on that very hard to do segue, that's where we're going to end today's show. Thank you so much, everyone who tuned in. Adam L, Lewis, Jasmine, Aaron, we've had in the chat. Aaron Bain, sorry for not replying to your comment. It's not wrong. We've got Adam L. I'm pretty sure I said Adam L already. We've got Alex in the chat as well, and obviously Scott as well, being in the chat whilst being on the show. Thank you so much, everyone who's watching. It's going to be a and Yanto is also coming to the chat as well, just as we're ending. So thanks so much for watching, everyone.
Like an RKO out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi 4. There we go. It's coming out this year.
There we go. Game of the year.
Goku.
Everyone.
Let's go. Okay.
Let's go. It's going to be a great year for games 2024. Stick with us on Mirror Gaming. We'll be doing the Mirror Gaming Walkthrough podcast every single Wednesday at 4 p.m. If you haven't already subscribed, get subscribed and like this video if you enjoy the podcast. And we've got some great videos coming up, so make sure you get tuned in. We'll also be at CES next week. So stay tuned for some gaming tech as well.
We also have something special coming tomorrow. I don't know if the video is going up tomorrow, but the editorial definitely is.
The editorial will be. The video is still.
Okay, well, we'll have something special coming up this week.
On the channel this week.
The editorial version of tomorrow.
That we may or may not have talked about on the show today.
It's our hands-on
Lord of the Rings Gollum review.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.